For the layers, for instance, they don't need a cork to mount it before it lays an egg. It's just the feed. It has hormones in it. So we just give them feed, then they lay eggs. Yes. If you don't have early markets, it means you still be buying food for them. But for the layers, on the other hand, they are giving you eggs, which you sell to buy the feed and get your profit. But these ones are not giving you anything. They are just eating. So I will advise, if you're a farmer and you have the money, go in for the foreign. We have one that is being produced in Ghana here. It's called Sankofa. Yes, that one is also okay. But the main one, which is really understood by most farmers, is the Kujis.
Hello everyone, I welcome you all to Hamburg Farms TV. My name is Oba Pasika. As we all know, humans, farmers do play a major role in our lives. That is why Hamburg Farms TV, we've taken it on ourselves to delve into the lives of farmers, how they started, the challenges they are facing, and how the journey has been so far. My guest for today is Mr. Godwin Odro. He's a poultry farmer. Let's go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we will get started. Stay tuned. Welcome back from that quick commercial break. My guest for today is Mr. Godwin Odro. He's into poultry farming. We are here to have an interaction with him, how he started his journey, how he's been doing it, and the challenges he is facing. Hello, Godwin. How are you?
I'm fine, by grace. What about you?
I'm doing well. What do you do?
Actually, I'm into poultry farming for now.
For now, meaning in the near future, you are thinking of venturing into something else.
Yeah, something like piggery, then maybe also investing into catfish too.
Okay, when did you start this project?
I started 4 years ago. Yeah, it's been 4 years ago. After my service, then I decided to engage in poultry farming. Yeah.
As young as you are, what inspired you to go into poultry farming? Because as a young man, people will be expecting you to maybe go into the corporate world. Why poultry farming?
Okay, to be precise, after school, I had a mentor where I was doing my service. There was this young guy who completed university before me, and I think he was managing a farm where I did my service. That is Nungwa Farms. It's located at 18 Junction, and he had his own poultry farm. He has his own poultry farm, and he has been into business for like 3, 4 good years. He sat me down and he told me about how things are really going on, and you being a graduate and you not having anything profitable to do after school, you have to venture into something. So since I'm there, I should try as much as possible to learn something out of it. So I advised myself, and I also thought about the positive impact too. It's really lucrative, very very lucrative. That is when you do it well. So he told me what he has achieved from that, and I think I saw them by myself, and I realized it's something. If after school, if I'm not doing anything, let me venture into that because I have the passion too for poetry, and I decided to do. So I've been into it for like 4 years now. Yeah, 4 years.
For our viewers' sake, we are currently at Ashali Boche. Yes, he has one here. Is this the only poultry farm you have, or you have others somewhere else?
Currently, it's two. Yeah, there's one in Esichari that is along the Akosombo Road. Yeah, that farm, that one is large. We are having like 2,400 bears. Yeah, but this one, the one in Buche, is just mainly broilers. We don't do layers here. Yeah, so this is just for the meat. But the one over there is layers. Like we have the birds that lay eggs, and the main reason why we do that is because of the eggs. We want to sell and make a lot of money out of that. But this one is just for the meat.
Would you say your journey has been smooth? Have you had any regrets so far? Your challenges? Take us through that.
Oh yeah, I encountered some few challenges, which was really really downbreaking. And if I hadn't really encouraged and motivated myself so far, I would have given up. That was somewhere around last year. We had this heavy wind break challenge that took off our roof. That's in Asuchari. So we lost most of our bears, and it became a challenge because you losing the bears and you buying the same amount of feed to feed in the bears, and you're not getting anything out of it. It becomes a problem. So as a result of that, I wanted to give up because I felt like the reason why you're doing this is because of the eggs and the profit you get out of it. And if you're going to invest your money into this, and yeah, why do you have to do it? Just stay somewhere. Because the thing is, I'm not really into partnership with anybody. Kind of, it's I have investors. Yeah, that's what I do, but I'm not into partnership. So you trying to indulge in such activity and you telling your investors this what happened. Sometimes it's a challenge. They don't want to even they don't want to even invest their money because they don't care about the outcome. What they want is this is what you drew for them. This is the budget. This is the outcome, and they are expecting this from you. So you can't come and tell them that because of wind or because of rainfall you've lost something. They don't do that.
Like you are just making up something.
Yes, even though I sent them pictures and some were like, oh, it's okay. Sometimes it happens in business. Others do didn't want to understand because they were like, they told you this is what they want. They invested their money into this. So the outcome is not what, because when the profit comes, you are also taking your share. Yes. So I just had to encourage myself, and at least the few investors left, I had to hold on to them, and I'm still in business.
You said something earlier that you got an inspiration from a friend. Would you say it's the best decision of your life, or would you say, well, you wouldn't say it's the best, you wouldn't describe it as the best yet, meaning there is more to come, the best is yet to come?
Yeah, currently I would say that I haven't regretted so far, and I'm hoping for the best. Because to be precise, I really want to go beyond. I just don't want to be just a normal, ordinary yes poultry farmer. I wish to maybe know how the bears are made. If I had the opportunity like that, I would like to learn more. I'm still learning. So I just hope that maybe I get this opportunity, travel outside and really know how, because these bears are being created. They are being formed in incubators, and so I just want to know how they are made. The process, yes, everything, everything. Because for the layers, for instance, they don't need a cork to mount it before it lays an egg. It's just the feed. It has hormones in it. So we just give them feed, then they lay eggs. Yes. So sometimes I think about all those things and I'm like, how is it possible? How is it being done? So if I have the opportunity and maybe I extend my education and I would like to learn more. Yeah, that's what I really want to do.
And let's go back to your national service days. You said you got the inspiration from a friend. Yes, we know that. I know as a beginner, it wasn't easy for you. You started somewhere and you are somewhere today. How many number of hens did you start with? Maybe you went for 10, 5, and you have this number now.
Okay, currently, I had um whilst doing my service, I was really into the poultry. So there's my manager at then, so I had passion for it. So he told me that he's willing to risk. He has agents who are in for maybe the booking of the bears and all those things. So he's going to risk in his name. That's one. He's going to risk in his name to go for that. And he trusts me so much. If I'm able to do it, it stands, I pay him, then I take it from there. But during our service time too, we had this kind of, I think it's a grant from Maslock. We applied for it. So during our service time, it didn't come. But after our service, some few were called upon and some interviews went down and they gave us some amount of money. So while I was doing it, I decided to use that money, the grant, to pay my manager, and I took it from there.
How many number of poultry bears do you have here?
Currently, I'm having 70, but it was 100. Yeah, we sold some.
Business is booming.
I wouldn't say it's booming though, but yeah, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. One thing about broilers is normally to be on the safer side, they don't give you eggs. They feed, they just give you the meat. It takes like 2 months, that is 8 weeks, to be matured fully. But one thing about the broilers is, you see them, when they are there like this, they just eat. The only thing they know is eating. So you spend a lot of money on the food. If you don't have early markets, it means you still be buying food for them. But for the layers, on the other hand, they are giving you eggs, which you sell to buy the feed and get your profit. But these ones are not giving you anything. They are just eating. So normally, most farmers, to be precise, if you don't have a specific order for broilers, we don't really do it. And normally, it's not being done on a large scale. We do it during occasions. On Christmas, so you book it maybe around October or September, so that it meets the Christmas market. Because during Christmas time, people are going to buy chicken. Or maybe Easter, or maybe Salah. That's how we do it. But if you are just doing it on your own, it means you know what you're doing. You are taking that risk. And if you don't really take care, it will become a cost for you. It's going to be a bad debt. But if you have hope to, and you know how to run about your things, you can sell it. Because 100 is not really a number. Yes, that's how I see it. So at least I've dressed. I come home. I convince some people around that's to try there, and I've also met some um this food vendors. I've spoken to some few and told them the advantages of you buying this whole thing, because I think currently a kilo of chicken is around 40 cedis. So if you're buying this whole thing, this one, I think some are around 3 to 4 kilos, and I'm selling it to you for 100. It's good because you are getting everything. And I also do dressing though. I also do dressing. If you want me to slaughter, I do everything. I slaughter, then I dress, then I deliver it at a cost.
Talking about their feed, do you produce it yourself? Do you buy it in Ghana? You import? How do you go about their feeding and everything?
The feeding. The feeding. When you want to produce the feed in Ghana, I think that's the best thing though. And it comes with a less cost. But there's a but there. You don't get the quality ingredients you need. Sometimes the maize, it's not really, you see some molds inside. They have challenges. So I will advise, if you're a farmer and you have the money, go in for the foreign feed. And we have like three, I think so far we have like three main types that are really trending. We have one that is being produced in Ghana here. It's called Sankofa. Yes, that one is also okay. But the main one, which is really understood by most farmers, is the Kujis. Yeah, Kujis. Kujis is really good. It's like it's being manufactured. They have a company here. It's being made in Holland, but they have a company in Ghana here, and they are doing it according to the standard. And these birds are also from Holland. So I also believe in importing of birds.
Why don't you go for the local breeds?
I've tried both. Initially, I tried the local breeds, the broilers. And to be frank with you, in terms of weight, when you're going in for a foreign broiler, exactly 8 weeks, you're going to get the weight you want for the market. But when you go in for the local ones, it takes a longer period. So instead of you selling it around 2 months, 2.5, even for the foreign ones, within 1.5 months, you'll be ready. But sometimes people don't really like that. But within 1.5, you can get your 2 kilo and above. But for the local breeds, they don't really mature so fast. It takes a longer period. So it means you have to feed them for long.
The breed to cost, so you would be just be wasting money.
Yes. And for the layers too, they don't produce eggs that much. The local ones, they don't really produce. We have really dealt with some, and it's really a challenge. They really eat a lot, but they don't give you more eggs. And if they are not giving you, the reason why you are into the business is to make profit. And you are there. Normally, they say that we should grow what we eat and eat what we grow. We should say, haha, that's what they say. But to be honest with you, if you are not really getting the correct or the better things, yeah, why should we go in for it? I've tried the foreign ones. I've tried it. I've tried the local ones, and the local ones are not helping. It becomes a cost and a bad debt. So I think it will be advisable to go in for the foreign ones if they are willing to come down here, set up a company, train the local, yeah, like as in those into the manufacturing, yeah, production of the eggs and all those things. If they're able to come down here, train them, we are good to go. Because sometimes too, when it comes to the purchasing of the birds, the foreign ones are expensive than the local ones.
The foreign ones are rather expensive than the local ones. Why then don't you stick to the local ones?
The thing is, it's not worth it. That's the main thing. Why should I take a foreign bird? A local bird? Let's say this one, the local bird. I think it's around 14 cities per bird. That's the day old. When they come, they are very small, so you have to raise them. It's 14 cities per bird. But the foreign one is 19 cities per bird. A difference of 5 cities. So if I'm buying 100, it means I can save 500 cities. But if I'm going to save 500 cities, and it will take me 3 months or 4 months before they are fully matured, why won't I just use that 500 cities? Is just going to buy a bag of feed with some small change behind or so why won't I buy the foreign ones and get what I want?
Now, talking about the local and the foreign feeds, do you think the government isn't doing a better job at producing quality feeds?
Oh yeah, I won't really blame the government though. Sometimes it's the people on the field, the people actually working there. Maybe I don't know what's going on, but maybe they are being given the rights things needed to produce the better products for we the farmers. But sometimes you can buy a bag of maize and realize maybe 2/3 is filled with chaff. So I won't go in for a maize that is going to weigh 50 kilos. But when you pour the maize out, you realize that it's just some amount is filled with maize. The other stuff inside are waste. You get it? So I'm sure some people over there are trying other means to make money. So I won't really blame the government though. But what I can say is the government has to really maybe employ people to really do their yes, a better job. That's the thing. Because I can't blame the government though. But the outcome we are getting is not helping. It's not really helping.
I ask this question because they are always insisting and advising we go in for our own, the made in Ghana products. And if you are not doing a better job, how then do we patronize our own?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. Because when I think maybe I'm maybe the third or the fourth person you are interviewing. Yeah, I don't really know. You can make a random kind of compare. This same question you can ask most of the farmers. 90%, I assure you, 90% will choose the foreign breeds, the foreign feed over the local one. If the person is choosing the local one, maybe he's just trying to be biased. He's not being, yes. Yes, but to be honest with you, the local ones are not really helping. They're not really helping. And sometimes if you think about you wasting money and going in for the foreign one and you want to do the local one, you end up regretting. Because the layers, for instance, a foreign breed can give you up to like 94, 95% when they start laying. The local one can give you like 70. Some people believe that when you really take good care of them, you're going to get the best out. But it's a lie. It's a lie. We've had some samples. We compared them whilst we were doing service. There was a debate between some guys, some few of the service personnel, and we had to do it. So we compared the local breeds with the foreign. We brooded them the same in different pens. And the outcome, we all realized that we gave them the same food, the same water, everything was the same. But we realized the outputs, the foreign was way better than the local. And that's one thing I like about a Greek. I love it when it comes to kind of debates and arguments because you want to know the actual thing. So right now, those guys that we did that experiment with, they won't stand anywhere to defend the local breeds against the foreign one. So for me, I would advise that if they want us to patronize the local feed and local fowls or chickens, they should really they should really call upon those people doing this to come and train, set up an organization here, train them, and if they do the right thing, why would we buy from them? We will still buy it here because at least we buying it over there, and it's really based on the dollars. When it's higher, it means the price will go high. So when you bring the people here, you want us to buy here, you call them here, and I know the government can do that. You call them here, they teach, they train, and I think it will serve as a form of employment too. I'm sure most of the youth want to learn. So when you open such an organization here, people will learn, and we will get the better output out of it. And I think it will help each and every one of us.
Thank you very much. Godwin, according to your story, you got an inspiration during your national service. You know, we go to school, university, we later come, sit home, complaining there is no jobs in the country, unemployment is so high in the country. You created a job for yourself. Should we call the other youth sitting down, not doing anything lazy? Should we address them as being lazy, or they just don't want to go out of their comfort zone and then do something for themselves?
Okay, I could say that I won't call them lazy though, because way back in school, I promised myself I had this lecturer. I promised myself I'll never engage myself into poetry. But the long run, see me. I think when he sees me now, he's really going to smile and laugh because he had this mini farm where we used to work for him. But me, for instance, I told him point blank that I didn't tell him I came to learn agric to become a farmer. That's what I told him. I told him to his face because I realized that I realized that he was really using the students. You go there, you work for him. Instead of him employing people to work, he calls the students, then we go and work for him free. So I told him that I don't need that mark, so I won't come there. But I ended up, actually, I didn't really get Nungua Farms. It was National Service Office. And they said, since I did agric, they have a farms. They posted me to their farm. Initially, I didn't want to. I wanted a repost. But I went there and I saw some young, energetic guys, male and female, and I'm like, Charlie, you can see some nice guys and they are doing the work. So one called me and he was like, Charlie, a service, actually 1 year. And one thing about the place is, after your service, if you perform very well during your service, you are being retained. Yeah, so it means after service, they maintain you there. So you'll be earning some money. And I thought about it and I realized, at least even if I'm getting 559, it's better than me coming back home not doing anything. So during that time, to be honest with you, during my service time, I wasn't really into the poetry like that. But when I was retained, I had this. We divided the structures into. We had 3 different structures, but they were all poetry, and we split it among the guys who were there. So the side I was with a senior guy who has been there for some time. He realized me being a newcomer kind of. He didn't come to work most of the time, so I had to do everything on my own, and that was when I had to learn. Because I realized that, oh, okay, so this is why we do this, this is why we do this. But during my service time, I wasn't really learning. But when I was told to handle the pen on my own, I realized I have to learn. Because if you don't learn, it means you will go home. You are being retained because they think you can do something. And I learned from there. So I'll say that back to the question you asked, some graduates don't really like agric. Fine. I don't know what you have passion in. But what I would advise is, if you know you're good at something, just go for it. I have friends who are into crops, and they are really doing well. I know of a lady friend who was really earning a lot. I think she was working with Vodafone. It was okay. The pay was okay. All of a sudden, I don't know what happened. She told me she wants to go into green pepper. There's big ones. I was like, hey, who be jive with from Akoya green pepper? It's like
It didn't sound right.
I didn't understand. And she was like, so make sure I can pay more cocoa, but don't call. So I also want. I have this passion. I don't know. It's kind of a calling. I'm like, okay, fine. Okay. I have some friends who are done with their service. We completed service together, and they are still in the house. I've gotten so many offers, management, like you managing a poultry farm, but they are still saying no to that offer because they see it to be stressful and a whole lot. But hey, if you don't really indulge yourself in something, how will you get money? At least you can even do it for some time. If you don't really have the passion, just do it for some time. Then when you think you're okay, you can just move on. It's way better than you just being in the house not doing anything. Yeah. And I have some too. I have some offers I can give to some friends, but I know how they were during our service time. So I don't So I don't like the situation whereby someone is going to trust because he knows what you're doing. He has seen your output. People are really talking good about you. So he asks you, maybe, can you get someone who is similar or who can do the same as you're doing? Not even the same, but it's hardworking. And I choose you because you're my friend trying to help you. And you go there and spoil my reputation, it's really going to be a challenge. So I think it's better to be on my low ground rather than to choose someone who is really going to spoil my reputation. Yeah.
Okay, this is just by the way. When coming in, I step into a box with some liquid. What's that?
It's called a disinfectant.
Okay.
When entering into any farm, that's the first thing you have to step foot. Normally, when the farm is big and it comes with the gates, the main gates, they do some. It's kind of a pathway for cars, and they pour the water inside. So if you're coming with a vehicle, it is going to pass through that before it enters into the farm. Because one thing about poultry, the reason why people are really running away from these businesses, when you are losing, you are losing. You can wake up one day and everything, it's gone. There are several diseases. We have the Newcastle. It's a viral disease, which is really deadly. We have the Gumboro too. It's also a viral disease. It's very deadly. And we have some minor bacterial diseases which can be treated. Those ones can be treated. But for the viral, when it happens, it means you're losing everything. So before you start the poultry, you really know what you have to do. You have to vaccinate the birds and do all those things. If you do everything and everything is okay, and you are taking your safety precaution very well with the disinfectant and everything, you are good to go. You are really good to go.
I want you to advise the youth. We keep saying there is no employment in the country. Give us some advice. We really need, in fact, I need it myself. So advise us.
Oh, okay. What I can say is, I've really tasted the fruits of poultry, and it's very lucrative. If you can't go into the production stage, you can go into especially when you're going into the layer, for instance. The egg selling is really, really lucrative. You can buy egg on the farm and sell it to customers. There's a price difference between that. The farm is it's less costly than you buying it from the other places. So as a young person, if you have something you want to start with, you can even start with egg business. It's a little bit challenging, but hey, in every business, it's not so easy. If you start it and you start it well, it's really going to be very lucrative for you. And even for you being the middleman or middle woman or whatever I call it, for the egg business, for instance, you are not buying any food. You are not giving any medication. You are just coming in for the eggs. And even if we have cracked eggs inside the one, we will change it for you. So when you come, the only challenge you're going to have is you selling it. That's the challenge. So before you can go out there, start advertising yourself. That is a lady. I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of a lady. And if you're a guy too, you can also do something. It's not really that difficult to start something on your own. You can sit down. Poultry is not difficult. It's not really difficult. You can sit down. Me, I'm there. If you even want me to train you for free, you are a young graduate, you want me to train you for free, I'm there. I'm willing to help. Because what I'm going to say is, at the long run, you're also helping me. Because you have to do what I'm doing. And you are learning. That was how I was also raised. So it's like I'm getting free labor from you, and you're also getting something in return. So you come to the farm. When you're really serious and you really want to do it, you can do it. You can, if you are really serious and you really want to do it, you can do it. For instance, let's say the reason why I was convinced with poultry, the reason why I was convinced by my mentor, he was into layer production, but he gave me a brief story about how he started. During his service time, he had this. He was the manager by then, and he ordered for chickens, and the service team rejected it. They said they are not doing broilers that year. So it means it was at his own cost. But the agent who brought the birds gave it to the guy for free. And he was like, when you're done with the production, then you sell. When you sell everything, then you give me the price of the birds. Then you take everything. He told me the stress he went through. He couldn't sleep. He collapsed and a whole lot. Right now, when you see him, he's one of the youngest and richest farmers around. He's really, really rich and he's very young. And one thing he told me is when you're a young graduate, you shouldn't think about the skin for now. My body no bread. Oh yeah, my especially my body no yeah, my no bread. You're a guy, you have to do something. Don't just sit down. At least if you want to wear something nice, you need money. So why don't you want to put yourself into something? We sat down, we drew a budget, and each and every time, every day, I think the bears delay a day or two. And if he calculates for the cost of production, for the bears he had by then, I think he had like 2,000 bears. By then he was making like 300 cedis a day. That's the profit. You get it? A day. That's the profit. That's what he's making a day. So if you're a young guy and someone is telling you this and you've seen it with your eyes, why won't you believe?
At least take the risk and do something.
He's doing it. He's doing it. And sometimes we go there to help him. And the way he treats us and we realize that he's getting money. He's really, really making money. A day, the amount of money he makes a day, and it's very lucrative. Me, I thought about it and I'm like, instead of me going to look for a white collar job, and at least how much would they pay me? Even if they are giving me like 4,000, which is good, it's okay. But when I calculate my transportation, the stress and the whole lot, if I have the strength and I have the knowledge to do something, which I can even earn times two. But the thing is, most youth they really consider the fact that it's farming. They don't respect the farming. That's the thing. They just don't respect the farming. If they really know what you get from it, I'm sure maybe they will change their mind. But they just don't respect. I was a victim. We don't respect that, the word farming. We see it to be, sorry to say, a dirty job. That's how we see it, the youth. That's how the youth see it. Pass or no, no, he's not going to do it. Sometimes you come, you see feces around this thing, you have to wash. Some people won't do it. They'll tell you he's not going to do it. But I know that this thing, for instance, I know if I'm selling, I told you it's 100, right? If I'm selling one for 100 cedis, at least you lose some. So let's see. So far I lost like 4, so I'm having 96. Let's say I'm selling one for 100. It means I'm getting 9,600. Yeah, within 2 months. And if I estimate the feed cost, right now the feed is expensive. If I estimate, it means within 2 months I can make a profit around 2,500 to 3,000 within 2 months. It's good. And if I'm able to sell it early, if let's say one of these days someone comes and he's like, I want to buy everything, the profit will go high. Because the more they stay, the more you buy the feed. But I one thing about me is normally when I'm drawing a budget, I prolong it because I don't know how fast it will go. So I have a budget for like maybe 2.5 months. If I'm able to sell it within 2 months, it's my profit. If it's two and a half, it means I know what I'm getting out of it. But if it's above, that becomes a challenge. It means I have to use my personal money, and it's a challenge. But how will you do it?
Life is all about taking risk.
It's all about taking risks. Sometimes it's difficult, but Charlie, you have to do it. And one thing too about poetry is you have to have passion for it. You have to have passion for it. If you don't have passion, you can't do poetry. It's not even poetry, anything. If you don't really have interest or passion for it, don't venture. Don't think about me saying that I'm getting 3,000 or 2,500. So you too, no. Okay, you stand somewhere and say that, oh boy, oh boy. But anyway, the reason why I'm fixing a little bit challenges. This is the first time I'm doing it here, though. Yeah, this is the first time I'm doing it here, so people don't really know about. So I'm now trying to find markets around here. But I'm sure in the next year or two, people will get to know that we have live beds here, so they will come and purchase. So for this first year, it's going to be a challenge a little bit, but I'm sure things will be better.
And do you have employees or it's just you running it with your partner?
Currently, and I can say, I have. Should I call her an employee? No, my mom. My mom is the one running the farm here.
Also the one.
I'm the one running it, but I have guys that I'm working with, kind of.
Remember the page, Mawana.
I have guys that I'm working there with. So, but one challenge about poetry is, you see the way I have passion for the work. That's not the same with someone. Some people are there because of the money. So the reason why I don't like leaving the place and coming here is some things you have to do. If you're not there, it's not going to be done. So I prefer, and that's the main thing. Because that one, I think investors are there. This one is your own personal thing.
We are looking forward to visiting the one in Esuchari soon.
Oh yeah, I'll be so glad if you come. And I'm sure maybe by the time you guys come, maybe we ventured into the piggery, wanted to do all those things. So I'm sure hopefully if things are going on smoothly, I'm sure we will venture into that. It's just a challenge, but and I'm
process. This is where we draw the curtains. Thank you for your time. Thank you for welcoming us, for receiving us with open hands. Viewers, this is where we end the interview. My guest for today was Godwin Ojo. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment there. My name is Obapasika. See you next time.